Good evening, everyone. Welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. My name is Navin, and today we are going to look into abstract reasoning. So it's like a revision for those students who are going to rewrite the exam for MAHCET CET. Okay, so it's going to be like a crash course. We will be looking at the important questions and the variants under abstract reasoning. So let's begin without wasting any time. So the first question. Figure A is related to figure B in certain pattern. So A and B, they are related in certain way. Following the same pattern, figure C should be related to D. So what should be the relation? Good evening, Shravasti. So let's try to find out the pattern here. So if you look at the dots, there was a single dot in the center. And now we have two, right? So we had one, now we have two. Going by this logic, if you are going to have single asterisk at the center now for figure C, for figure D, we need to have two asterisks. So two asterisks means A, D, E can't be the answers, right? Now, if you look at the arrows, so they are, at the opposite corners of this square of the figure. So they remained on the same side, it's just that their direction changed. Okay, so if they were facing north and south, now they are going to face west and east, right? Okay, so if we look at the same logic, the triangles in the figure C should remain at the same corners, right, which is there in option B and C both, and the triangles will shift. They are facing north and south, they will face now west and east, which is true for B and C both. So it comes down to this particular figure. So this is S and this is the mirror image of S, right? So if we have a D over here, we are supposed to have the mirror image of D. So mirror image of D is there, it exists only in option B. So B will become our answer. Okay, the next one. Out of the following 5 figures, 4 are alike in some manner and one of them differs from these in that manner. Select the odd figure. So we need to find out odd one out here, right? So if you look at the first figure, we have a circle, square, and then a circle. The next figure, we have a square, square, and a triangle. The next one, we have a circle, square, and a triangle. The next one, we have circle, triangle, triangle. We have square, circle, and then again a square. So if I use abbreviations for this, so we have a circle. So let's not count the outer square. Okay, let's ignore that. So we have a circle, then a square, then a circle as we move from outer side as in larger figure towards the smaller figure, towards the center. The next one we have square, square, and then a triangle. The next one we have a circle, square, and then a triangle. The next one we have circle, triangle, and triangle. The next one we have square, circle, and then square. So if you follow the pattern, 4 out of these 5 figures, they are made up of only 2 shapes. And one of those shapes is repeated. So you will find 2 C's here, 2 S's here, 2 T's here, and again 2 S's. It's not that they are continuous or whether they are alternate. It's not about that. The middle figure is made up of 3 different figures. That's what it will make this one different from the rest, right? So this particular shape is there in option C. C is the same shape, right? So C is going to be the answer. Okay. Okay. Next one. Okay. Question on die. 3 different positions of the same dice are shown. Find the number on the face opposite the face. So showing 6, right? So how do we deal with questions on die? What we do is, from whatever number of figures are given to us, we will try to find out 2 such figures where only one number or one face is common, right? So if I look at figure 1 and figure 2, there are 2 numbers common, 2 and 3, 2 values are common. If I look at figure 1 and figure 3, there is only one number 2 common. If I look at figure 2 and figure 3, there is 2 and 5, 2 numbers are common. So obviously we are going to select the figure 1 and figure 3. इन दोनों को select कर लो क्योंकि इसमें एक ही common है. फिर क्या करते हैं? Then what we do is we take that common number and we write it in the clockwise order. We take that common number and write the numbers in the clockwise order. So if I write the first one in the clockwise order, the figure 1 ka, it will give me 2, 4, 3. Third figure ka, if I write down in the clockwise order, it's going to be 2, 5 and 6. Once we reach here, the numbers written in the same column, they are always opposite to each other. So 4 and 5 are opposite to each other, 3 and 6 are opposite to each other, and there is the last number 1 that is left, which will obviously be opposite to the number 2, which is common, which is the same number in the column. So question पूछ रहा है कि 6 के opposite क्या है? So opposite to 6, we are going to have 3. Right? Okay, so I see people giving different answers for the previous one. Some people said A, some people said E. Was that answer for this or the previous one? Only Prajakta answered C for the previous question. Here people are confused between A and E. It's going to be E. 2 and 1 are opposite to each other, not 6 and 1. Okay? Next question. Select the options in which the given figure is embedded and rotation is not allowed. So if you look at it, will look like a paper plane, and then there is a diagonal. It's a pentagon, right? Not a regular one. There is a horizontal line. So we need to find out this particular shape in the 4 figures. It's pretty easy. बताओ कौन सा होगा? You will find this here, right? C will be the answer. Good, good, Nidhi, Arpita, Prajakta. Good, good. Okay, next one. Which answer figure will complete the pattern in the question figure? So it's like complete the series. The last value is not given, last figure is not given, a figure somewhere in between is given. So it's about the number of cells we have and the number of crosses put. So if you count the total number of cells, there are 16, 4 in the rows and 4 in the columns, right? 16. The first one has got 5. The next one has top 4 completed, bottom 4 completed, one particular row empty. The next one has got further some addition, and the next one has got certain addition. So what is happening here? Going by this logic, which one is going to be the answer? Let's see how many of you can figure this out. देखते? Anyone? Are you guys answering? Shrashwati, Tejaswini, इसका आंसर C बता रहे हो? Prajakta says D option, 4th. Okay, so here is the trick, guys. In the first figure, there are 5 crosses. ऊपर में 5 crosses है. ठीक है? Then you had those 5 crosses, वो अभी भी है, but because one figure is missing, now you have 4 crosses here at the bottom, and then you have 3 crosses here. So I'll use a different color ink so that it's easier. So पहले 5 था, फिर there is a one figure missing, and then we have 5, 4, 3, right? And if we continue it like this, those 5 will continue here, those 3 are still here, These 4 are still here. What we will realize is we end up having 2, 5, 4, 3, 2. अब क्या बारी होगी? 1 की बारी होगी. So that 1 is going to go here. So the number of crosses are getting added in the decreasing order. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 ऐसे जाना चाहिए, right? Then it will make sense. It will follow the pattern. And what is happening is, if 5 is in the top rows, 4 is in the bottom rows. It should be, right? Then 3 is in the top rows, 2 is in the bottom row. So it's shifting between top and bottom. So going by this logic, we should have the same 5 crosses here. Ab 4 आपके crosses की बारी है, which should happen at the bottom. So we should have 4 crosses at the bottom. I've not put crosses, I've just put dots instead of that. So going by this logic, which is the answer? Is it the 4th figure? Is this the answer? No, D is not the answer. A lot of you have answered D. Nidhi has answered E, so E is going to be the answer, 5th one, right? So we are going to have 5 crosses at the top, and then we are going to have 4 crosses at the bottom. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ऐसे चल रहा है, right? A little miscellaneous type. Okay, the next one. Select the correct mirror image of the given figure when the mirror is placed at the right side. So the mirror is denoted by AB, and then you have a figure on the left side of the mirror. You need to find the right hand side image. That's the mirror image of this figure. So look at the different shapes that you have inside that square box. You have got small 2 triangles, then you have got a rhombus. Within the rhombus, you have got a circle, semicircle, black and non-shaded, then 2 arcs at the corners of the small square inside, right? So if we start with the triangle part, so what we'll realize is we have a triangle here. So A doesn't make sense, right? Because the triangle is not the one which should be mirror. So the mirror image should be the same triangle. Okay. Now let's look at the second triangle, which is here. If you have a triangle which is facing towards west, the mirror image triangle should be facing towards the east. So B will not make sense. Ye bhi gaya. Okay. Next, between C and D, what you will realize is those shaded portion at the corners of the rhombus or the square which is tilted by 45 degrees, right? So, not 45, 90 at the center. So, मेरे को अब केवल उस पे ध्यान देना है. So, if I have a shaded portion here which is pointing towards the mirror, its mirror image should be a figure whose similar shape should be pointing towards the mirror, which means towards the left hand side, which is there in C but which is not there in D. Let's confirm the remaining part also, because we have an option which is none of the above, which generally is not the answer. आप mark करके C आगे बढ़ सकते हो, पर एक बार check कर लेना चाहिए अगर time है तो. So we have a shape, similar shape, which is known as a quadrant, which is at facing bottom. So its mirror image will be facing bottom. And then we have the shaded portion, which is facing upwards. We have the similar semicircular part, which is facing upwards. So C हो जाएगा answer. Good. Good, good. Next one, folding of paper. A paper is folded and cut as shown below. How will it appear when unfolded? Right? So it's easier when you can draw on the figure itself. जब आप इसको rough sheet पे करोगे तो आपको दिक्कत आएगी, right? So obviously I'm at an advantage over here. So since we have an arrow, so I'm supposed to have an arrow like this. इसका mirror image ऊपर की तरफ होगा. Just looking at this, we know that it's not going to be B, it's not going to be D, it's not going to be C, it's not going to be E. सब खत्म. केवल एक component पकड़ा और हमें आंसर मिल गया. Right? You don't have to solve the entire thing. Okay. Next one. Select the figure from among the given options that can replace the question mark in the following series. So it's more like complete the series. Here the last figure is missing, unlike the previous question where the second figure was missing. So initially we have a staple like shape, then we have a pentagon formed from it, then we have got an L shaped, then a pentagon is formed, a pentagon, then we have pentagon and an L shape. So if we continue like this, तो अब क्या होगा? Which shape are we going to have? So whenever you have such shapes, such figures where the shapes are repetitive, ठीक है, suppose एक square है, square ही बनते जा रहा है. If you are going to have a hexagon and hexagons are only made inside the figures, subsequent figures, it generally has to do with the number of lines drawn. ठीक है, जो sides हैं figures के उनको count करना. So if I look at the first one, it is made up of 3 lines, right? Those are the 3 lines. If I look at the next figure, it is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, initially there were 3 lines, now we have 4. And every time we are trying to, we are forming pentagons where the pentagons are facing downwards. अब इसको अगर continue करें, so what we will realize is, if I shade the ones that were already drawn, so what we will realize is now we are going to have 3 new. So the first one, it was made up of 3 lines. Then it was made up of 3 and then 4. It was made up of 3, 4 and back to 3. Let's check the next one. Case mein kya ho raha hai? So we have these 3. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have 1, 2, 3. And this one is going to have 4. So इधर को हो रहा है आपको 3, 4, 3, 4. Three lines, 3 and 4, 7 lines, 3, 4, 3, 10 lines. Then you have 14 lines. The next one, going by this logic, we should have 3, 4, 3, 4, 3. मतलब 3 और lines जुड़ने चाहिए. Let's check. So if you look at this, this is a new line, this is a new line, this is a new line. So we have 3 more lines. If we continue this, what will happen is now we are supposed to have 3, 4, 3, 4, 3 and now 4 more lines. 4 more lines मतलब previous figure में 4 more lines के लिए we need to complete this. These are 3 new lines. So we should have the entire thing. And उसके बाद what should happen is we should move over to the we should go to the next round. We should continue from here. How do we know that? Looking at the options. So option देख के तो एक चीज confirm है कि B is not going to be the answer, D is not going to be the answer, A is not going to be the answer. Now between A and C, so from where should we start? Should we start from the left hand side of that bottom pentagon or should we start from the right hand side? Right? किधर से शुरू करा जाए? Let's see what you guys are answering. You guys are saying D, C, A. So left side, right side, as in this line drawn, ये आपका दोनों में से कौन सा होगा? Because the remaining figures, they are the same. Right? 4 pentagons उधर है. So here it goes, guys. ध्यान देना. If you look at the first figure, this staple is drawn. Then you have got this staple completed into a pentagon, and then you have this particular figure. So if you're using your pencil or pen to draw it without picking up the pen, so can I very confidently say that I will be drawing this line first, then this and then this, so that I complete this figure in this order. फिर से वहीं से शुरू करेंगे. So every time a pentagon is being formed, this is the first line that we draw. This is the second line that we draw. This is the third line that we draw. This is the fourth line that we draw. And eventually we have this as the fifth line that we draw so that it completes. आप किसी भी pentagon में देखो, शुरुआत हमेशा left hand side वाले vertical line से शुरू होता है. So going by that logic, if I have to draw just one line in the next pentagon, I should be drawing it on the left hand side. So A becomes the answer. Okay? So a little complexity over here. We have to also think the way the pentagons are being formed, where does it start? क्योंकि एक ही लाइन ड्रॉ करना है, वो लेफ्ट होगा राइट होगा, दैट मैटर्स बिकॉज ऑप्शन वैसा था. So most of you are correct. A is the answer. प्राजक्ता, did you answer C for the previous one या फिर ये वाला? Previous में तो C था नहीं, तो आपने इसका गलत कर दिया. Okay, next question. Select the figure from the given options that can replace the question mark. Again, similar set, similar question. Complete the series. So, see the figures and see how they are getting arranged. So, पहले तो every figure is made up of 3 shapes, where the rightmost shape is always shaded, right? In the options also we have the same. Then, what kind of shapes do we have? So, we have a triangle, circle and square. Then we have square, triangle and circle. Then we have circle, square and triangle. And then we have triangle, circle and square, right? ये एक order चल रहा है. TCS, STC, CST, TCS. If we continue, we should have STC. In other words, if A and J, they repeat, so next time में D and the next figure should repeat, right? So यही figure दिखना चाहिए, D वाला. So if I look at D wala figure, what I will realize is A can't be our answer, right? B can be our answer, C can be our answer, D cannot be our answer. So between B and C now. Now if you pay attention, there is a letter written at the southmost side of this figure. Okay? So we have A, then we have B and C missing, then you have D, then you have E and F missing, then you have G, then you have H and I missing, you are given J. So A, D, J हो चुका है. अब J के बाद K and L should be missing and you are supposed to have an M. So between B and C, C has N at the southmost side, B has M. So B is going to be the answer. Good, good, good. Very good. सबका सही है. ठीक है? Okay, next one. Select the correct mirror image of the given combination when the mirror is held at the right side of the image. अब सबको नहीं करेंगे. Some of these letters, uppercase or lowercase, capital or small letters, some of them are already symmetrical. For example, the letter A, O, M, T, I, H, Y, W, X, V, U, right? तो कुछ ऐसे लेटर्स होते हैं जो सिमेट्रिकल होते हैं. सो इट डजंट मैटर, यू नो, कि ऑप्शन में उसको चेक करने का सेंस नहीं बनता. सो इफ आई ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट टी का मिरर इमेज, इट विल नॉट मेक सेंस. इफ आई ट्राई टू फिगर आउट आई का मिरर इमेज, इट विल नॉट मेक सेंस. 8 का मिरर इमेज 8 ही रहने वाला है. सो लेट्स नॉट ट्राई टू, यू नो, राइट डाउन इट्स मिरर इमेज. व्हाट वी विल डू इज वी लुक एट द ऑप्शंस एंड सी कुछ तो कॉमन होगा और कुछ डिफरेंट होंगे ऑप्शंस में. For example, if I look at the first letter, which is I, so I should remain I, so B gets cancelled out, क्योंकि बाकी तीनों में I है. Okay. Next, H. The hump of the letter H is pointing towards PQ, so उसका जो hump mirror image को होगा वो भी PQ की तरफ pointed होगा. It should look more like the Hindi letter T, right? Which is there in all three ACD. Right? मेरे को एक बार चेक कर लेना चाहिए था. Okay, after this, G is also same in all the 3 options. 9 is different. So if the circle of 9 is pointing away from PQ, so its mirror image should have a 9 which should be pointing away from PQ, right? So 9 is pointing away from PQ only in A so far. So A मार्क करके आप सीधे आगे बढ़ सकते हो. ठीक है? Like I said, none of the above नहीं होता generally answer. So D will become B, E will become more like an inverted E. It's a mathematical symbol. Then 5 will look like an inverted 2 upside down. तो A का ही sense बनता है, right? We check the remaining letters to be confident कि none of the above तो answer नहीं है. Good. So everyone who answered it, you guys are correct. Okay, another one. Which answer figure will complete the pattern in the question figure? So the top row is the question figure, the bottom 5 are the options. Now every figure is made up of 2 horizontal bows and arrows, not bows, arrows, and a vertical arrow, right? So let's look at what do we have at the ends of the arrow, right? So instead of finding out the ends of the arrow, I'll say that I have a standard structure as a, and then I have 6 symbols. Is it like the same 6 symbols continue, or is it like nine symbols are? Let's check that. We have a circle, we have an equal to or parallel ka symbol, we have cross ka symbol, we have arrowhead, triangle, we have a square, and we have a C, or we can say a semicircular arc. In the third figure also we have the same symbols. In the next one also we have the same symbols. So the symbols are same. So if the symbols are same, it has to do with their orientation. How are they moving? So let's follow one of them. So it's easier to follow, let's say, the circle. So circle is here at the top, and then circle is here, and then circle is here. So can we say the circle is moving in the clockwise direction along each of these 6 points? एक-एक करके. Obviously, पूरा rotation नहीं ले पाया. We don't have enough figures. So going by that logic, this circle should be here, right? You're supposed to have the circle here. इधर होना चाहिए. Is it true for other shapes as well? Because none of the options say circle should be there. Hold on. ऑप्शन में सर्किल उधर है ही नहीं. What about C? Okay, C is randomly moving. So obviously it's not in clockwise direction. Look at C. C is here, C is here. So going by that logic, C should be here at the bottom one. But then C randomly jumps upwards. It moves again anti-clockwise. So the things are not moving in the clockwise. It looked like it moved, but it didn't. Okay. So can we say these two figures are related? तीन का group है, right? So in the first one, the vertical arrow, the arrowhead is pointing downwards. In the next one, it's pointing upwards. तो ये logic लगा लेते हैं. So if we go by this logic, the second and the fifth figures, they should be same. So since the fifth figure, the square is at the top and equal to at the bottom, so it should actually be equal to and then a square, right? Okay. We have only one option that makes sense. केवल 3 में है ऐसा, है ना? See, if you look at this, the arrows, they form a cycle. The first and fourth, they are similar looking. It's just the orientation has changed, and some of the symbols have been misplaced, right? They have been rearranged. बस फर्स्ट एंड थर्ड चेक कर ले. फर्स्ट फोर्थ को कंपेयर किया, यूज द सेम लॉजिक टू फिगर आउट सेकंड एंड फिफ्थ. इफ यू वांट टू बी मोर कॉन्फिडेंट, मैं भी होना चाहता हूं. सो इन द फर्स्ट फिगर आई हैव अ सी हियर, सो द सी स्टेज देयर. मतलब ये वाला सिंबल उधर ही को रहेगा. आई हैव अ क्रॉस हेयर, इट स्टेज देयर, ये भी उधर ही को रहेगा. देयर इज एन इंटरचेंज बिटवीन द पैरेलल एंड द स्क्वायर बिटवीन फर्स्ट एंड फोर्थ. सो ऐसे कुछ होना चाहिए आपके सेकेंड एंड फिफ्थ में भी. लेट्स होप कि ये हो. So this triangle should stay as a triangle and this circle should stay as the circle, while the cross and the C, they should interchange, which is exactly happening in the third and the fifth figure. If you compare, इन दोनों को compare करो, exactly वही हो रहा है, right? So option is going to be E. The third figure is going to be the missing figure. So these types of questions are like speed breakers. You are solving it quickly, easily, and then suddenly you come across a question which is difficult. Whatever logic you are using, and it turns out वो option में है भी नहीं. तो क्या करना चाहिए? You should actually leave it. Right now we have enough time to solve. Exam में तो छोड़ देता हूँ. Give it one attempt, and if the options don't match, don't try it again. Because you know what? When you make a mistake, somebody else can rectify it because they can see the mistake. लोगों को अपनी गलती नहीं दिखती है. This is true in the exam. This is true outside the exam hall as well. So once you have made some mistake and if once you have missed out some logic, second time attempting it will not help. ज्यादातर वो फिर से मिस हो जाएगा क्योंकि आपके दिमाग में एक लॉजिक बैठ चुका है ना? तो छोड़ देना चाहिए अगर एक अटेम्प्ट के अंदर आपको आंसर नहीं आया. टाइम कम होता हमारे पास. Okay, you need to be very, very quick. Okay, the next one. Select the option figure which is embedded in the given figure as its part. Rotation is not allowed. So vice versa है. So we need to find out कि ABCD में से कौन सा शेप उधर उस फिगर में है ना? I hope everybody got that. It's going to be D, right? D में you have this particular shape. Sorry. D में you have अच्छा ठीक तो था. D में you have this particular shape, right? This is the shape that you have in D. Don't try to find out कि सर वो लंबा दिख रहा ऊपर वाला लाइन इधर को छोटा है. It's not up to this scale. You don't have to see exact. I mean, it's sometimes it's possible to exactly look scale wise. Sometimes they are little not up to the scale. जो जितना दिख रहा होता है उसका डबल या हाफ हो जाता है ऑप्शंस में. ठीक है. So that is perfectly fine. Is the place where Concord came in CET 23? Steve, nahi. But if you go to the CET analysis when the exams happened, there were questions discussed which came in the exam. ठीक है. So आप वो वाला जरा चले जाओ चैनल पे, सर्च फॉर CET 2023 का एग्जाम एनालिसिस. ठीक है. वहां पर आपको दिख जाएंगे काफी क्वेश्चंस. Not all of them. Okay, next one. Again, a question based on die. 4 different positions of the same dice are shown. The 6 faces of which are number 1 to 6. Select the number that will be on the opposite to the one showing 2. Same logic as the previous one. इन 4 में से कोई भी 2 ऐसा ढूंढेंगे where there is only one number common and we will move ahead with it. So if I look at the first and second figure, there is nothing common. So I can't take first and second. If I take first and third, there are 2 numbers common. उसको भी छोड़ दो. If I take first and fourth, again 2 numbers common, 1 3 1 3. So first तो कोई काम का नहीं है. If I look at second and third figure, okay, there is only one number common which is 4. Now what we do once we get only one number common, you circle the common number, common face, and उधर से clockwise लिख लो. So पहले वाले का if I write down the clockwise, it is going to look like 4 2 5, right? Second वाले के साथ भी वही clockwise, write down the numbers. If I write down the numbers for the second one, it's going to look like 4 6 3. Now the numbers that fall in the same column, they are going to be opposite to each other. और जो number बच गया वो common number के opposite होगा. So 1 is missing here. So 1 is going to be opposite to 4. 2 is opposite to 6. 5 is opposite to 3. Question here asked is which number is going to be opposite to 2? So 2 के opposite 6 होने वाला है. स्टीव, जब नहीं आएगा तो स्किप करने का सेंस नहीं बनता है और आएगा तो क्यों करोगे? लगता नहीं है बहुत सिंपल होते हैं, है ना? तो you should actually think कि you should get puzzles rather than clocks and calendars and directions के questions, because sometimes they are tricky or time consuming. Clocks and calendars तो कई बार होते हैं, right? तो आपकी की कोशिश यही रहनी है कि पजल आए, और पजल नहीं आएगा तो मे बी, अब तो खैर वो तो एग्जाम वाले दिन ही पता चलेगा कि in lieu of that did you get a similar easier question or it was a difficult one, right? पजल छोड़ना नहीं चाहिए, क्योंकि अगर if you have reached here and if you guys are able to answer all of this, you guys are very much prepared to face the exam. Okay, the next one. In the following question, select the odd figure from the given alternatives. तो इन चारों में कौन सा odd है, ये फाइंड आउट करना है. Very too easy, isn't it? And looks like B and D are the same options. Are they the same options or they have tricked us into something? It looks same to me. So B, D तो नहीं है. Between A and C. This I mean, it happens with me in the exam. Sometimes the questions are so easy कि ना सोच में आदमी पड़ जाता है कि कुछ गलत तो नहीं सोच रहे हम, right? It happens to the best of us. I know the answer is going to be C, very straightforward, because in all the remaining three figures the arrow is pointing away from the hypotenuse of the right angle triangle, the large one, या slope से दूर की तरफ है, दूसरे side face कर रहा है arrow. In the C only, it's not about the arrow is facing downwards, actually it is facing towards the hypotenuse side of the right angle triangle. अंदर वाला triangle की बात नहीं कर रहा मैं right angle triangle की बात कर रहा. But it's too good to be this easy, so थोड़ा सा वो हो जाता है, डर लगता है ना कि हमसे इतना जल्दी कैसे सॉल्व हो गया. Okay, next one. Figure A is related to B following a certain pattern, and using the same pattern we need to find out the relation between C and D figure out कर लेना है. So every figure is made up of two shapes and both of them are arrows. Okay, when I say arrows I mean straight lines with some shapes at the end. I literally do not mean an arrow. Okay, so it's a cross and then there is a plus, right? So if this is a cross in C, we are supposed to have a plus. इतना करके थोड़ा सा options देख लो, क्या पता एक ही आंसर हो. But unfortunately we don't have just one answer, but we will be able to eliminate two of them at least. Okay, the next one, between A and B we have the same four symbols that are getting rotated, right? कुछ तो order होगा rotation का. So the top two ones are so this triangle moves here, this arrow moves here, right? While actually हमें इतने करने की जरूरत नहीं है because it's pair wise related, right? So what you need to do is pick up a particular shape. This way, as in that northwest direction वाला जो shape है, that's triangle, it moved towards west. So this arrow will now move towards the west. ये तो होना ही है, right? If it's moving clockwise, anti-clockwise, दो उड़ के कुछ भी हो रहा हो, this is supposed to happen. So E is ruled out, right? Now between C and D, let's look at the figure. Circle or वो semicircle, कुछ भी एक ले लो, right? So the one that is at the bottom. So the one which is opposite to arrow in the first figure, which is southeast, it moves south. So since this is southeast, we are supposed to have that circle in the south. So circle in the south, D बना देगा. ठीक है? So clockwise, anti-clockwise would have taken us more time. Just Copy pasting the position of the symbols would have been easier, right? Very good. Shreyashi, अच्छा पिछले वाले का आंसर ही था, right? इसका डी है, नहीं इसका भी डी है, ई नहीं है श्रेयाशी. Okay, so I want everybody to please give a like, okay, before you guys leave. Okay, we are doing all of this for you guys so that you can prepare well, revise, don't waste your time, 1 hour of time doing something else. 1 घंटे बस बैठ जाओ हमारे साथ. There will be a lot of questions and concepts we can discuss. You can check where do you stand as compared to other people who are answering in the chat, है ना? तो आपको थोड़ा पता चल जाता है आपका competition कैसा है. So please meet our CAT 2022 toppers, Vinayak, Sarojit, Smarth, Vidhi and Puval. So these are our classroom program students, okay? Classroom as in the online classroom, okay? So you can be also one of these students. For that, you can join our CAT 2023 comprehensive program. These are all the giveaways that you have in our program, starting with over 75 mocks to hundreds and hundreds of hours of concepts and problem solving, analysis of exam, all of those videos. You have got more than 10,000 questions to practice. If you want, you can be given a tablet. Using that tablet, you can attend the classes. The classes will happen depending upon which day and timing you choose for weekdays or weekend, whichever is available as well. And then we will also help you with your GDPI and VAT preparation. Okay, and the faculties who you see on YouTube who teach you, whether it is Saral sir, Gaurav sir, me, Nikita ma'am, Meenakshi ma'am, Vikrant sir, whoever is the faculty will be the same faculties who will be teaching you in the classes. Okay, so it's not that we are just for YouTube and the faculties are different. No, same people. So link to getting into this batch is given in the description below, and this batch is going to start very, very soon. Okay, and you can avail up to 90% scholarship for these. All you have to do is show up as in go online, use your app, the app which is available on Google Play. And on 29th of April, 7 p.m. you can write the test and you can avail up to 90% scholarship. Okay, so make sure that you register for this. And on 6th of May at 7 p.m., Mr. Srinivas is going to take a session as in MBA why, how and when. This is very important. Some of you must have faced this difficulty or still facing this difficulty. कि sir finance लूँ कि HR लूँ? Sir, I'm a fresher. Which one is better for me? Sir, I have 2.5 years of work experience, but with not such a good company. So what should be the better option for me, right? For example, if I have a question that I want to do operations only, so which college is best for me? So if you have had all these queries and you still have such queries, तो आप बिल्कुल यहाँ पर अटेंड करके सारे अपने queries clear कर सकते हो. Okay, this is going to be live, not recorded, so you can ask your queries live and it will be answered. Okay, so limited seats are there. For this, you will have to register. The registration link is also given in the chat as well as in the description below. And last lap to CMAT 2023 is right now going on. It started on 23rd of April. It will go until the day before, a couple of days before the exam. Every day at 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. we take 2 sessions so that you guys can revise everything. Okay, so make sure that you subscribe the channel if you haven't done yet. You can download our app and attempt section-wise quizzes every day. There is a leaderboard where you can see how well you are doing as compared to the others. Okay, for this you will have to download our app. It's all free of cost, guys. It's not that you have to download, you have to do something and then only you can access all of this. Everything that I have said except for the classroom program is all free of cost, just for you. And for this year CAT, 500 most expected questions is discussed on a regular basis. It started from 6th April. It happens every day. Make sure that you join for this. It also happens on YouTube. And please don't forget to subscribe our channel, like our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram. You can join our Telegram channel as well. And before I say adieu, well, good luck everyone. People who are going to write the exam, MAH CET, as well as CMAT. For CMAT, I will keep on meeting you until the day of the exam, right? So good luck. I hope really, really that you guys do really well. Okay, come out with flying colors. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, everyone. Chalo. Take care. See you again.